Hey everyone, I'm Amethescent, and this year was my first year participating in Artfight. If you don't know what Artfight is, it's an annual art trading game that takes place throughout the month of July. Thousands of artists participate every year and attack other artists by drawing their characters. And if you're attacked, you can make a revenge on the attacker by drawing their character in retaliation. This year was my first time hearing about and joining Artfight, and I put 18 of my characters onto the Artfight website. But I didn't get my hopes up for receiving many attacks, as I did not have a following on the platform. However, I was surprised and more than happy to receive 22 whole attacks spanning 12 of the 18 characters that I posted. Never before have I received art of my characters, and I was so excited and thankful to all the amazing artists who attacked me. For the first 2 weeks of Artfight, I was unable to view my profile due to being on vacation with very limited Wi-Fi access. But that didn't stop me from drawing up a storm. And due to the fact that I did 22 attacks and revenges, I won't be going into detail on every single drawing. And I won't be going through them in order either. Instead, I'll be going over them in groups based on the kind of drawing it is. These groups consist of full bodies, portraits, half bodies, and animals. Starting with full bodies, this speed paint that you're seeing right now was one of my later revenges on a character called Hansuke. Original creator of the artist is this artist on Artfight, who did an attack on my character Tsubaki. Unfortunately, I can't pronounce all the names of the users that made the characters, so for the ones I can't pronounce, I'll simply display them on screen. Now, this drawing took the most amount of time out of all the attacks and revenges I did during the event, and you can probably see why. The original artist of this character drew something really amazing for me, and I just had to repay the favor, especially since both my character and their character are Japanese. So this artwork is the most elaborate of all the other ones, and one of my favorites. It took me around 4 hours to complete, whereas all the others took me anywhere between 30 minutes and 2 hours. I was a little nervous because not only was this my first and only time going all out with an attack, but also because I was drawing a guy. If you've watched my previous videos, you've probably noticed that I never actually draw a human male in them. It's not because I can't draw men, but because I'm not as confident in drawing men as I am with women. I really should draw more. After all, I can't get better if I don't practice. Next are these two. OCs are by this artist and Fox_Deal. The character on the left's name is Verena von Einem, and I chose to draw her because, well, she's purple, and I love purple. Also because her outfit was just so fashionable. I think it turned out pretty well. The character on the right's name is Blank. I picked this character because I thought her design was very cool, especially with her being made of ink. I thought that was interesting. For some reason, I struggled quite a bit with this one. I kept adjusting the pose and face. It's not the fault of the original designer, just my own ability, I suppose. So I'm not too proud of this one, but I still think it turned out alright. Next are these two OCs by this artist and Beth with an F. Sienna, the character on the left, was very fun to draw, especially her hair. I don't usually draw braids or twists like this. Whenever I draw African hair, I typically just draw it out naturally, kind of like how my sprite's hair is. The character on the right is known only as the Obsidian Queen. The design of this character was just so dark and beautiful that I couldn't wait to draw her, and the fact that she's inspired by the Black Queen chess piece just makes her all the more cool. I absolutely love how it turned out. The red lighting was a last-minute addition, but I think it added so much to the piece. My next two full bodies were revenges on Strawberry Door, who did an attack on my character Usa, and the_Bean, who also did an attack on Usa. The character on the left is called Anne. I chose her because of how laid back and simple she looked. The one on the right is called Rose, and you can probably guess why I decided to draw her. Because she's purple. I really liked how both turned out. The last full body I did was a revenge on H. Victor, who did an attack on my character Reina. And this was actually a revenge on a revenge, which I'll explain in a bit. On the right, you'll see another attack that's a half body. I originally attacked this character, whose name is Arena Elodia, and in response, I got a revenge on my character Reina. So I did a revenge on that, or a chain attack. That was my first and only chain attack. I didn't think I'd end up doing one of those, but I just really liked all of H. Victor's characters, and I very much enjoyed drawing both. These are my next 3 attacks and characters created by this artist, Something Feral, and Yessie Maltese. This attack on a character called Millie was the only other attack where I did a full-blown background. It's also one of the few ones where I drew the character in an actual scene. I just didn't have that many ideas for scenes and backgrounds for most of the attacks and revenges I did. I chose this character, whose name is Laura, mostly because she's a moon goddess, and I love anything that has to do with the moon. I have 2 moon OCs myself, also because I just really liked her design. I decided to draw her holding the moon. I thought it would look interesting and allow me to add some lighting as well. And then there's this character called Aoki, who I'm pretty sure is meant to be a Demon Slayer OC. I mostly picked her because I thought it would be fun to draw her. These were my last 3 half bodies on characters by Gracie Got Baned, Froggy Pied, who attacked Amika, and Clown Rambles, who attacked Zapu. 1 attack and 2 revenges. Now, you'll notice that this particular attack on a character called Michaela looks a bit different from most of my others. The pose is different and the shading is more elaborate. I was trying something a bit more complicated for this attack. These other 2 were both done on characters that are not necessarily human, and that's one of the reasons why I chose to draw them. They were very unique. I especially like drawing this one. I even made a brush to help me with the braids. Her name is Velson. I also enjoyed drawing this one, although I don't love the pose I decided to draw her in. Her name is Solalis. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. The next category is portraits. These first 2 portraits are revenges on Fallen Coven, who did an attack on Laverm, and Billiam, who did an attack on Zapu. This one is Uriel, and this one is Ruth. Both were relatively easy to draw, as I was just drawing portraits. And since I was drawing close-ups of the faces, I was able to take extra time to detail the eyes. I specifically enjoyed drawing Ruth because of her unique design. These next 2 are also revenges on this user, who did an attack on Tsubaki, and Elemental Deity of Food, who did an attack on Volrath. Both designs were fairly simple, so neither of them took me that long. Around 30 minutes for each. The characters are called Adam and Eileen. The last portrait I did was an attack on Punkalade, who had this beautiful character called Eleanor. And honestly, a big reason why I chose to draw her was because I was excited to draw the makeup. Very few of my characters wear makeup. You might also notice that I tried a slightly different style for this drawing. I drew the nose and side of the face a little differently than I usually do. I typically draw the nose as just a line, and I don't usually draw the curves of the face. Finally, the animal category, of which I've only done 2. This character is by Kibblecoi, and as you can see, it is a Fakemon. The Fakemon is called Blossifleur. In the speed paint, you'll see me drawing 2 characters, the second being my Fakemon, Lupinhund. I decided to draw our characters together because they're so similar, and because Blossifleur is inspired by Venus Flytrap. I didn't mention this in my Fakemon video, but originally I wanted to design my Fakemon as a Venus Flytrap dog as well, but wasn't sure how to go about it, and so I thought it would be fun to draw my Fakemon and theirs together. Lastly, this next artwork is a revenge on Sapphire25, who did an attack on Zapu. I didn't plan on drawing any animals for Artfight this year because I prefer drawing humans, but I wanted to make a revenge for this user, and they didn't have any humanoid characters, so I chose to draw this. I really like how it turned out. The character is a Fakemon called Kitsume, and I picked it because I love foxes. And that's all. All 22 attacks and revenges. This event was very fun for me and a good experience. It's not exactly new for me to draw so many artworks in only a month, so I wouldn't say that this experience was necessarily challenging, but it was still very fun and interesting to engage more fully with the art community. And I'll definitely be doing it again next year. If you want to see all the attacks I made and received, you can look at my profile, Amethyst, on Artfight. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and please consider liking and subscribing if you're interested in seeing more of this kind of video. And if you're interested in more of my art, feel free to follow me on Instagram. The link's in the description. Take care and farewell.